What's up, Bears fans? Harrison Graham here with another episode of Chicago Bears Now. And I thought, you know what? Let's talk defense today because, look, let's face it. One, offense generates more interest, right? More excitement. Quarterbacks, receivers, running backs, points, all that stuff. And it's been an offensive-oriented offseason, right? You hire Ben Johnson, offensive guy. Big offseason for Caleb Williams. Offensive line additions. You draft Colston Loveland, Luther Burden. Like, it's been a lot about the offseason this offseason. Let's face it, this has been a defensive franchise for a long time, so getting going offensively has been a talking point forever. But there is another component to the game, and that is defense. And I think most people always assume, the Bears, they're always good on defense. They low-key were kind of just average last year and were pretty bad after that Hail Mary game in a lot of games. It started to slip under Eberflus. Then when they fired Eberflus, it got even worse. So I thought we'd kind of just peel back the curtain a little bit, and just kind of break down the team. So let's start with the best player on the defense. I think that is Jaylon Johnson heading into this season, one of the best cornerbacks in the league. He's had a really good 3-year stretch here. I thought he was a little better in 23 than he was last year in 24, but again, I think the defense as a whole just kind of slipped last year, and he probably played into that a little bit as well. I think this new scheme under Dennis Allen, which we should obviously mention, will be a little bit more aggressive-minded. We know they're going to play more press man coverage at corner and let their corners live and die on an island. I think that fits not only Jaylon Johnson, but Tyreek Stevenson as well. So you feel good about Jaylon being the top player on that defense. Now, ideally, he'd be like on a premier defense. Maybe he'd be like the best player in your secondary, but maybe a pass rusher or something like that would be the best player. But I think for this team, he is the best player on the defense. The question is, who's the second best? Like, after Jaylon Johnson, who is the second best player on this defense? Well, after the trade deadline 2 years ago, it was really a 1A, 1B situation. Jaylon Johnson, Montez Sweat were the two best players. I mean, his ability to get after the passer that year was tremendous. And then last year, he underwhelmed. He did not have a great season. He tried to play through a foot issue. I think that certainly played a role. But the Bears paid Montez Sweat to be that guy. He's making $24 million per year. No one expects him to be Nick Bosa or Max Crosby or Myles Garrett, but he should be more than what he was in 2024. I mean, he's just kind of an average player, like low-end starter is kind of how he played. He wasn't bad, but he was not a $20+ million player like he was the year before when they traded for him, paid him that money, and he delivered. On that. The Bears paid him to be that 2023 version, like double-digit sack guy, set the edge in the run game, and even if you're not a true, game in, game out, dominant force, a very, very good defensive lineman. I've said it all along. Ideally, on a good D-line, he'd be a number 2 guy, but for this team right now, he needs to be the best player on that defensive line, and too often last year, that wasn't the case for a defensive line that honestly was pretty underwhelming as a group overall. So hopefully he and Jaylon are the best players on the defense. They make that money. We trust Jaylon to be that. Like, I have no questions there. But Montez Sweat, a year and a half in, it's been a little up, it's been a little down. So big year for him coming up, no question about it. Fill in the blank for us. Montez Sweat will have blank sacks in 2025. How many sacks does Montez end up with this year? Now, obviously, he's the guy you would want to be the second best player. I think other guys that could potentially carry that distinction, Kyler Gordon, who got paid this offseason, plays that nickel spot. I think you'll see Dennis Allen kind of be creative with him. Maybe not quite a Tyrann Mathieu type, but someone who does a little bit of everything, plays in the box, plays in coverage. They might put him at safety some, roam around. I think he'll do a little bit of everything. TJ Edwards, again, like him, should not be the second best player on a team, though, on a defense, I should say. Tremaine Edmonds, they paid him to be that caliber of player, but through 2 years he has not been. Maybe in this scheme he could have a big-time season. We'll see. Grady Jarrett, kind of like even more so than TJ, closer to the end than the beginning, right? As he is, 32 years old. So, good player, but probably shouldn't be one of your premier defensive players. And I think that's kind of a theme with this team and with this defense in particular. I think there's a lot of good. Like, I think TJ Edwards is a really rock-solid good player. I think Grady Jarrett's a good player. I think Andrew Billings is a good player. Like, I think you have, 6, 7, 8, even 10 players that could be good. How many great players do you have? I think Jaylon's a great player. Is he a Hall of Famer? No, but I think he's a great player. I think Montez Sweat has flashed being a great player, but I think if you look at the totality of his career, he's more of a good to very good player. TJ Edwards, good player. Tremaine Edmonds here has been an average to good player. He should at least be a good player. Can he be a great player? I don't know. Are there other players on this defense that could be great? Could Gervon Dexter be great? Could Shamar Turner at some point be great? He's a rookie, so there's some unknown there. I think that's when you look at this defense, we'll talk about it a little bit later, how high is the ceiling when you don't have those true blue chip caliber players, which we talked about on our full roster breakdown video 4 or 5 weeks ago. You don't have many of those, at least not right now. We got to see if some players emerge in that regard. And I think a position that really stands out is it feels like this team's lacking is just that edge group. We talked about Montez Sweat. In a perfect world, he's your number 2 guy, but I think he can be your number 1 guy. But if he's your number 1 guy, you need to have a good rotation behind him. I'm not sure the Bears have that. So we'll take a look at the edge position a little bit more as we progress in the video. But I want to tell you guys about today's sponsor, Mando. Awesome whole body deodorant products available for you guys at shopmando.com. And guess what? New deal alert. 20% off throughout their website, all their products when you use code CHAT. We've been telling you about Mando's whole body deodorant products for a long time now, and the variety of options they offer, from the solid stick deodorant to the cream tube deodorant, the deodorant wipes, and much more. Well, guess what? Mando has a brand new product. It's called the Mando Deodorant Plus Sweat Control Solid Stick. It's a double protection product. Who doesn't like double protection? Finally, you get the odor control you love with Mando, but also the powerful sweat control too. Regardless of which products you choose from Mando, whole body deodorant is exactly what they mean, as it is safe from head to toe for your pits, your balls, your thigh folds, belly button, and more. Mando has you covered. I personally recommend the starter pack if you're a new customer. Comes with the solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like the body wash or the deodorant wipes to go in there as well. Plus you get free shipping, 20% off site-wide with code CHAT at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. Please support our show. Tell them we sent you here at Bears Now. Mando's got you covered with Deodorant Plus Sweat Control. Say goodbye to sweat stains and say hello to long-lasting freshness. Okay, you look at this edge group as we kind of talk about this position group. It's been a popular topic. We've discussed it a lot on this show. It's just kind of underwhelming, right? Like, I like Montez Sweat a lot. I think he'll be better. I don't think he'll be an all-pro, if I'm being honest. I think he'll be good. Dayo Odeyingbo, can he be good? Is he a quality starter? Is he a good starter? Can he be great? I don't know if there's great. There's a chance Sweat can play at a great level. We know he'll probably be at least good. I think you're hoping for good with Dayo. Austin Booker, I think you're hoping for a decent rotation player right now. Pretty quiet spring. Dominique Robinson, I mean, it would be a surprise at this point if he was a productive player. Daniel Hardy doesn't seem to be a scheme fit, kind of undersized. And then you just kind of have depth pieces there, UDFAs from the past 2 off seasons. I think this group is way too Montez Sweat reliant. And I don't view Montez Sweat in the same category of a Max Crosby, right? Like in Vegas, as long as Max Crosby's healthy, they feel pretty good about their edge group because he plays most of the snaps and he is dominant week in and week out. Montez Sweat doesn't play 95% of the snaps, and his dominant high level of play can kind of come and go. You see it at times, especially 2 years ago. You saw it a lot. But you don't have that consistently. And beyond that, the pieces behind him are pretty underwhelming. Dayo Odeyingbo, that's a projection. We know he's a rotation piece. Can it be more? We'll see. The guys behind him, that's a little underwhelming as well. Coming off the edge, we're hoping for Austin Booker, but I don't know. Dominic Robinson drew praise from Ben Johnson in the springtime, but we've been here before with him. Like, I still think you need to go get somebody. And that's why when I see the players available, like a Zadarius Smith, a Jadeveon Clowney, even a Matt Judon and a couple of other guys, Von Miller, Preston Smith, I feel like these guys could help. I think Zadarius Smith could help tremendously. He's still a really good pass rusher, almost a 14% pass rush win rate and 9 sacks last year. Clowney elevates the floor of your room. He can stop the run, and he's kind of a streaky pass rusher. We know they were interested in Matt Judon last year, so I think, and I feel confident saying this, I think edge is a need at this point, more than just a want. Like, running backs, like, I'd really like to add one. I don't know if it's a true, like, big need. Like, it's a need, but it's not massive. Like, you could get by. I'm pretty scared with this edge group right now. If Montez Sweat goes down, or if he plays like he did last year, it's a pretty underwhelming group. So I would add somebody. Obviously, the Trey Hendrickson stuff's been out there, but we'll see if anything were to happen there. But you got a couple free agents just staring at you, like ready to go. Like, let's see if you can get one of these boys signed up. That would be my thought if I was Ryan Poles. Do the Bears need to sign an edge? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I think they do. Like I said, I think it's a need, not a want. I think someone else needs to get on board. Hippo Hive, stand up. Is Ruben Hippolyte ready to be the Bears' LB3 as a rookie as we continue to talk about this Bears defense? Obviously, TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds are going to be your two primary linebackers, but Hippolyte we saw get a lot of reps at the weak side spot in the spring with TJ missing some time with the soft tissue injury. I think he could be a middle linebacker in his future as well, and obviously that Sam linebacker spot, which is kind of a part-time starter role, base defense. He'll be on the field, nickel packages he would not. You got to be able to do a little bit of everything. Got to be able to come downhill. You got to be able to cover every once in a while, blitz. And I think his athletic profile is what attracted the Bears to him, because I think he can do all those things, and they think he can too. If the instincts can match up with the athletic traits, I think the Bears may have found something here. Sounds like he developed a lot just in the 3 or 4 weeks during the springtime that took place, and I think he's got the inside track to be that third linebacker at this point in time. Safety concerns. Do we feel good about Jaquan Brisker and Kevin Byard? Can they hold it down in 2025? I'll say this. If they're healthy, I feel good. Now, neither may be a long-term option, but I think for this year, you'd feel pretty good if they're both out there. Byard is still playing at a starting caliber level. He was solid last year. Brisker, when he's healthy, is a playmaker. I call him an all-pro, go crazy or anything, but he can do a little bit of everything. He can hit hard. He can cover. He can play in the box. You can bring him on blitzes. He can hold his own when he's stuck in man coverage against tight ends and slot receivers. So we know the passion and energy he brings to the table. Byard's got some leadership skills as well. It's just the concussion thing from last year with Brisker. He missed the final 12 games. It's just something that's going to linger among Bears fans, and we're just always going to be holding our breath anytime he's involved in a heavy contact play, because the vibes are high with Brisker this spring. He's been out there. He's made some plays. There's no contact, though. We're not going to see contact until training camp and on into the preseason, assuming he plays some in the preseason, which we'll wait and see what Ben Johnson's approach on that is. But it's kind of one of those hold your breath situations. Like, if he hits someone hard and that's kind of the way he plays, is he going to get back up? We won't know that probably until we get to the game. So if they're healthy, I like it. You've got Jonathan Owens and Elijah Hicks behind them. They're serviceable players, but I think as we saw last year, as the weeks went on, teams were able to exploit that. I think in a short-term stint, they can hold their own, but if you need Elijah Hicks to start for 6-8 games in a row, that's probably asking him to do too much. All right, guys, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We continue to pump out content here on Chicago Bears Now, so do not miss out, as we will continue to have all things Bears covered throughout the offseason. Okay, lastly, X Factors. Who are some X Factors? Who are some guys that can take that big leap, can surprise us, if you will? I look at 3 guys that stand out. Tyreek Stevenson. I think he's definitely the biggest X factor in the secondary, other than Brisker, I guess, but that's really just a health question. Stevenson's a legitimate on-the-field playing question. Like, if he reaches his potential and he can get more consistent, I think he still has CB1 potential in this league. And if you get close to that opposite of Jaylon Johnson, that's pretty damn good. I think this press man scheme can help him a lot. He's long, he's athletic, he can run, he's physical. I like this Dennis Allen scheme for him. Javon Dexter, he's beefed up a little bit. They're going to play him some at one tech, it sounds like, this year, which I liked him more so in that role coming out of college, kind of be that pass rushing one tech, and I think he'll be a better run stopper in that role as well. So I like that. And then Dio Odengbo, you paid him to play a role, to be a factor. Can he do that? Can he be more than what he was in Indianapolis, which was a good player for the most part, but a guy who kind of flashed and didn't show that dominance a ton? He's certainly a physical specimen, and if the Bears hit there in free agency, that would be certainly a bonus. A big jump from one or even two of these guys, I think, would be pretty huge because, again, to the point we made earlier, I think there's a lot of good on this defense. I think there's a lot of potential. But there's a lot of what ifs, right? Like, what if Tyreek makes a jump? What if Dio Odengbo is a flop of a signing? How impactful would that be going the other way? So, I think they're going to need a few of these things to bounce their way to have a chance to be really, really good. Otherwise, they might just be an average to above average defense because there's some good players, but not a lot of great players. Who will be the Bears' X factor on defense this year? You had to pick one player. Who's going to be the X factor on defense? Let us know in the comments. And just to conclude, I think the Bears will have a good defense. I think this will be a top half of the league group. Somewhere, I would guess, the floor, if there aren't major injury issues, I don't know, it'd be like 18th, and then the ceiling would be like 10. I would guess somewhere 10 to 18 is where I would guess. But can they be in the top 10? Can they be the 6th, 7th, 8th best defense? I don't view this group as a good enough pass rushing unit right now to get there, which is why they're going to need someone to emerge. Or maybe they do need to go sign somebody still. Can Gervon Dexter be that interior penetrator consistently week in and week out? Could he be that X factor that turns the 13th best defense into the 8th best defense? Certainly, these are all possibilities, but at this point in time, I view this as a good group, not a great group. So I don't know, is this the 12th best defense in football? I could certainly see that being the case. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Chicago Bears Now. Hit that subscribe button on the way out, and don't forget to turn on those notifications. We'll see you soon. Bear down.